Hi everyone, just a wee quick talk about the vise, or basically I've had one or two questions about when do I use the grooves and the vise. Like this is the Talon vise, the FNF Talon vise. It just depends. I mean, I've got just quickly lifted a couple of big hooks. Now the inner groove you can see there, this is a large 3/0 single salmon hook. And basically, I mean, I could easily fit it in the front. It's just a matter of getting it the angle right. It's you'll feel it, and it's just a matter of then holding it. Once you've got it sort of half caught, you just bring it the shank straight, tighten up, and it should be fine. Maybe a bit better than that. Just lift it. You just have to move it around to get it right. But to be honest with you, this one here with the bigger size hook, I'd put it at the back. It's far easier to get it level. Then you can see there's very little pressure just to hold it because it's in the groove. It's just solid. You don't have to put a lot of pressure to tighten it up. When it comes to the front groove, probably size 12s. I've got some size 12s. I'll just show you the hook size. I mean, if a standard hook, this is a competition heavyweight. 10s are easy, like 12s will fit in the front groove, so it's just a matter of holding the shank straight, tighten up, and I mean, it doesn't take much because it's in the groove, it's solid. And then if you want to go smaller, and then we go to this is a size 20, it's a re-dry fly hook. It's just a matter of tightening up, doesn't take much. These jaws are really strong when you bend the hook. You can hear that nice ping. So it's solid. So it doesn't take much to actually tighten onto these. As long as you use the hook, the vise will last a lifetime if you use it standard wise. You'll not go far wrong with using the vise as it should. So I mean, I wouldn't try and put this hook here at the tip, because all you can do is destroy the tip of your vise. So if you can set it into the groove, that's what it's made for, your fly or your vise will last a long time. No problem, easy to use. So anyway, that's the hook side. Now the other thing I got asked about was, believe it or not, it was Marabou. And you'll get this, if you look at this Marabou feather, you can see how it looks like it's, the fibres are all stuck together. And a lot of people will, I mean, I did it myself, look at that and go, oh, take that off. But you don't take that off. I'll just zoom out a wee bit more so you can see what I'm doing here. Now, basically, get yourself this is a toothbrush, which I've basically trimmed down a wee bit just to make it a wee bit stiffer. It's a cheap 20 pence, 30 pence, that's all it costs, this toothbrush. So what you do is I usually do it on my leg, just brush the fibres out, they're just stuck together. We're lying in a packet. I mean, I usually take off, if you look at this matted down here, I mean, you can still use that, just brush it out. Same with this side. Now, as I say, I usually put it in my leg, give it a brush. That basically opens the fibre out a wee bit better. And then to even do add a wee bit more to it, let's just blow it with the hairdryer. So I've got the hairdryer here, and just wee bit of heat through the feather. And there you go. Perfect Marabou feather, ready to use. And you can see where you would probably normally would have thrown away these bottom fibres. You can use these up, so don't throw them away, just spend a wee bit of time just brushing them out. You have a great fibre. I mean, you can see how full and open these are now. The other one here, again, you just rub it, as I say, do it in your leg. I mean, you'll still be able to do it if you, just like this. And a wee quick blow with the hairdryer. And there you go. perfect Marabou feather ready to use, and which I'm going to be using in a second. I'm going to be tying basically the cat's whiskers. It's called the Micro Jelly Cat. It's named after the Fritz that's used. This one here, you can see atomic yellow, bright colour, a wee bit of flash, which I'm going to use in the throat. So we're going to tie the cat's whisker now. So I hope these wee tips help and give you a better idea how to put your hook in and prepare some of your Marabou. Now, the Micro Jelly Cat, now I've tied quite a few versions, basically gold head version. This is, well, gold dubbing in this case. This is fry gold. There's ones with jungle cock eyes, wee red throat obviously. Same again here, but with a red head. There's lots of ways to tie these wee cat whisker type patterns. Now I'm going to be tying I'll tie the one with the jungle cock chartreuse head. So now the hook I'm going to be using is this one here. This is the competition heavyweight, size 10 black nickel. For the micro or for the mini lures, this is the sort of size you're looking for. And if you do any of the international competitions in the UK and Ireland, they've got to be tied within the hook's a certain size. This is as big as they get. It's the size of the fly, can't be any bigger than 5/16 of an inch. So if you follow that, you should be fine. Now, as it's very popular because competitions are very popular in the UK. So anyway, as I say, the thread is the Chartreuse in 8/0 and uni. I'm going to put a layer of thread down the length of the shank. Just basically bring your thread down, or take your thread down to between the point and the barb of the hook. Just come back a turn. Now that keeps the bend open a wee bit better when if you go into catch and release to debarb the hook. You've got plenty of room to hold the hook to let the fish go. Now the Marabou, I've obviously got the Marabou ready. The tail, a couple of pinches worth is enough for the tail. Just roll it in your finger and thumb. Pinch it. Just to basically line it up. You have to do this if you're not in international competitions. And then you can have it as whatever length you like. The wing length could be the tail length as well, but in this case it's shorter. So we've got our tail, which is the shank length in this case, or body length. Now to save a wee bit of bulk and make it easier to tie in, I remove this fine fluff, the fine fluff in the Marabou fibre. It makes it tie in far easier, saves a bit of bulk. What's the fibre there? Anyway, just see how it's sitting. Check my length. Looks fine. Then we just wind up and trim away the excess. Just make sure it's secure. You can see by removing the fine fluff, it gives you a nice body. It makes it easier to tie in. Then the way back down, and we tie in the base of the body material, which is what it's named after. It's called. There we are. Oops. There we are. It's called the FNF-Micro jelly, atomic yellow, and to be honest with you, it certainly is. The camera catches it. It's quite hard to actually tone it down a wee bit with the light, so there you go. See how it catches the light. Now what I'm going to do is bare some of the core at the end, or just take some of the fibres off, and you'll see the core there. And the way down, just catch that on, or tie it in. All the way down. And come back up with your thread. Now wax your thread here to make sure you've got plenty of grip when you go to tie in the Fritz. Now I'm just twisting the Fritz to see how it's going to sit. And then I'm going to wind it up with obviously drawing the fibre back as I wind. It sits far better. Now they can be close touching turns or they can be slightly spread out. I'm going to spread it out slightly. So there's 3 turns, 4, 5, going into the 6th turn, which is basically a straight turn. And then make sure it's nice and tight. It's a strong Fritz, this, you can really pull it. And make sure it's secure, put a few turns in there. And then trim away. And you always say you're going to get a lot of fibre going forward here. You can spend a bit of time just to reduce that. You can keep the thread tight when you go to do this. Pluck it out, much like we did to tie it in. Stroke it back. Make sure you secure in the core, which is there. A couple of fibres there that's going forward, so I'm just using my nail. Just draw it back and then use the thread to hold it back. There you go. That's it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim a wee slice off the top here just to keep the wing low. You can see that. It just helps to keep it just a touch low. I don't like it too up. Now almost back to our Marabou. You can put your throat on. I'm going to put a throat on this. Maybe I should do it before I put the wing on. So just lay your Marabou on your desk. Just roll the fibres at this point. Sit it on your desk. Now the throat could be anything. You don't need to put it in, but I like a throat in these flies. And I'm going to be using the Crinkle Mirror Flash in red. It's a nice bright colour. Gives the impression of, I mean, the cat's whiskers is really good for a small fry. Really nice and bright. So I've got half a dozen fibres here together. To form the throat, all I do is just fold it around the thread. Before I do that, take your thread towards the eye. Tight towards the eye. So fold it around, hold both ends with your finger and thumb. Slide it up underneath. Spread it, just fan it out slightly. Keeping it underneath, wind till you're in line with the body. Up to the body anyway. Length is up to yourself, but I usually cut it gape length, so the width of the gape of the hook, trim. Keep this for your next fly. I just moisten it, sit it on my desk. At this point you could always go back a wee bit if you want to flare it, if it's not sitting the way you like, it's not trimmed too well. So what I'm going to do is just come out, trim it a wee bit better. A wee bit better, I think. I mean, you can see, I don't know if you can see how well it catches the light, but it really does. I mean, you see how the colour, I'm trying to calm it down a bit, really catches the light. And so we go back to our Marabou. As I say, roll it in your fingers, look at the fibre, see how you want it, what's a taper or how thick or heavy you want it. I usually just pull it in and then pinch, mainly towards the end, pinch it apart, and then look at the length. Now this can't go any further than the tail, can't be any longer than that, so set it within the tail. And then again, to save a bit of bulk, just stroke back these fine fibres. You can tear them off. It's amazing the difference this makes when you go to tie it in. To see how the wing's sitting, going to sit. Scratch this on the top, tertiary turns. Oops. Let me spread it a wee bit. And we take it back because I'm not happy the way it's sitting. I mean, it looks okay, but I want it to spread a wee bit. So I'm just going to make sure I've got enough fibre drawn back. Pinch and loop again on the top. Always go back if you're not happy, just go back. And a nice clean cut. take a thread to the eye, tie up into these cut ends. I like to tie into them. Basically, I feel it ties in far better, stronger. And there we are. That's the actual the micro jelly cat. Now you can add to it. I actually got a couple of jungle cock eyes lying on my desk. Got 2 orange. So I say I'm just using these up. And take a wee bit of time, just sit one down. We take away the fluff. I mean, one of these is split, but it's fine in the water. Don't worry about it. Once it's in the water, it kind of pulls together. Just what I'm doing is just taking away this fine fluff. Concentrating the eye more than anything. This is the one with a wee split in it, so I'm just going to tie it on the side here. Just a couple of turns to hold it. Now you can tie them in. I usually put them both on together. But when you've got these eyes are just slightly they're needing a wee bit more work anyway. So I've got my side. Just catch it on, check to make sure it's the right length and it's not to my finger. A couple of turns. Looks okay. Take my thread down. Just fold back the stems. Build the head up. Now these here, you can pinch off the jungle cock, the waist ends. There we go. I mean, that looks not too bad. Again, you could actually you could use a few. You can mess about with it. Now, FNF they've got what they call they've got a gold fry. I've got a silver fry. There's one here, so I'm actually going to use one with the silver. It's just it's like a light bright. So there it is. It's very easy to dub. Just lightly put it onto depending how much you want on it. Just dub it on. Very easy to dub on. Now when I'm dubbing, like doing the head, I like to take it towards the eye first and then work my way up. Just see how it's going to. See what it looks like. We can brush some of this out. You can always go back, just see how it works. I feel I'm getting a bit too much now, so I'm just going to draw away what's left on the thread. Now I'm at the eye here, so we stroke back the fibre and then finish off with the head. Just make sure you get a few turns in there. That looks fine. And then again, just hold back anything. You may catch the odd fibre, don't worry about it. But finish. Throw away your thread. And there we are. Nice wee pattern. Could use some Velcro and bring out the flash. But there we are. I'm just going to put a varnish onto the head all the way around. And there we go. So I hope you enjoyed that. As I say, it is a wee mini lure. It should fit within the international rules. If you don't, you get into bother. It should. It's a wee bit distance away, but I could get that to work. It's not too bad. You can just take a bit of fluff off the end. But other than that, it's fine. That was fine. That would get by. So anyway, that's I'll say it's my slight version of the micro jelly cat. As I say, it's a lovely Fritz. It's really bright how it catches the light, and it does help just trimming a wee bit. I mean, I've got one here. I actually purposely did this so you can see it. The wing sits up slightly, which is fine. It's just the Fritz holds it up. If you want it to sit a wee bit lower, just a wee trimming it down makes a difference. So it does when you want it a wee bit lower. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and again, thanks for watching.